Have you ever felt like English phrasal verbs are just a totally random collection of words you're forced to memorize? Well, today, we're going to see that's not true at all. In fact, they actually tell a story. The story of your morning. And hey, stick around, because by the end, I'm going to show you this super simple trick that's like a secret code to using them correctly. You ready? Let's dive in. Our story starts the very moment your day does. So just for a second, I want you to picture your own morning. Think about the sounds, the feelings, all those little actions you take from the moment you stop sleeping to when you really start your day. Got that picture in your head? Good, because we're about to put the right words to it. And this is where our story begins. It's early, everything is peaceful. And then, that sound. That all too familiar sound that just breaks the silence. And believe it or not, that sound is our very first phrasal verb. Great. So in the world of phrasal verbs, your alarm doesn't just ring, it goes off. This verb is pretty specific. We use it for things like alarms or timers or even sirens that suddenly, just start making a noise. So whenever that thing starts beeping or buzzing, it goes off. And this is a great example because it shows it's not just for your morning alarm clock. See, any device that you set to make a noise at a certain time, like this oven timer, can go off. So the alarm goes off, and then what happens? You wake up. That's it. This is that exact moment your brain kind of switches from sleep mode over to awake mode. Your eyes pop open, you're conscious again. That simple action is waking up. And, it doesn't always have to be some loud, annoying alarm that does it. Sometimes it's not even a sound. Just like we see here, something as nice as the smell of coffee can be the thing that helps you to wake up. Okay, so you've woken up. Your eyes are officially open. But, and this is a big but, you're still in bed. And this brings us to the first huge decision of the day and our next couple of verbs. Yeah, this is the best option, right? To sleep in. This is what we all dream of doing on a weekend. Your alarm goes off, you wake up for a second, but then you decide, nope, not yet. And you drift back to sleep. You're making the glorious choice to sleep in. This sentence just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? That well-deserved extra long rest. It's like a little reward for a hard week. But what about when you can't sleep in? Okay, this right here, this clears up a super, super common point of confusion. Remember this, you can wake up at 7 a.m., but then you might stay in bed scrolling on your phone and not actually get up until 7:30. See the difference? Waking up happens in your head. Getting up is when you physically leave the bed. And that's it. That physical action of swinging your legs out of bed, putting your feet on the floor, and standing up, that is how you get up. You have now officially left the bed for the day. And as anyone with kids will tell you, excitement is a very powerful reason to get up super, super early. It's a perfect example of how a feeling can be the thing that makes us get up. All right, so you're up, you're out of bed. The next part of our morning story is all about getting ready for the day ahead. And what do you know? It's a fantastic sequence of phrasal verbs. Just look at how logical this flow is. First, you choose your clothes. Then maybe you put on some exercise clothes to work out. And finally, you get dressed in your actual clothes for the day. Let's quickly break these down. So first up, you pick out your outfit. Notice that little word out? It adds this sense of careful selection. You're not just grabbing something random. You're actually choosing it. You're picking it out. And here we see it being used in a different way. You can pick out a gift or pick out a movie. It always has that feeling of making a thoughtful choice. This whole sequence just makes sense, right? You put on your workout gear. Then you work out. That's our go-to verb for exercise. And once you're done with all that, you can finally get dressed for the day ahead. And here is a hilarious and, let's be honest, maybe a little too relatable example of what happens when you forget that last crucial step. This is a great sentence to help you remember what get dressed really means. So you're awake, you're up, you're dressed, you've had your coffee, the personal part of the morning is pretty much done. Now it's time to shift your focus to your tasks for the day. And this is our last verb for the morning routine. Whatever your main task is, maybe it's a report for work, an essay for school, or even just a personal project, you're going to work on it. It just means you're focusing your time and energy on that one thing. Okay, so we've learned a whole bunch of verbs, but how do we actually use them correctly in a sentence? This next part is that awesome tip I promised you at the beginning for cracking the grammar code behind them. The secret is all right here in this simple little table. Just look back at the definitions we saw. If the word something is in the middle, like in pick something out, it means you can split the verb up. You can say pick the gift out. But if something comes at the end, like in work on something, you absolutely cannot separate them. You have to say work on the project. It's a simple rule, but it is so powerful. So what did we learn in this quick explainer? First, that phrasal verbs aren't just random words. They actually follow the logic of our daily stories. Second, learning them in a sequence, like a morning routine, makes them way easier to remember. And finally, that little grammar trick about where the word something goes can totally unlock how to use them correctly. We've only covered the morning. Just think about the rest of your day. You'll probably eat out for lunch, maybe you'll meet up with friends, and then you'll wind down in the evening. The story just keeps going. So my question to you is, what verbs will you be looking out for next?